Here's a GRE arithmetic question. Let's take a look. What is the least positive integer that is not a factor of 25 factorial and is not a prime number? All right, well, first things first, let's make our life a little bit easier. If we look at these numbers, none of them are prime, right? So this piece right here doesn't really affect the problem. None of these are prime numbers. They're all divisible by 2. They're all even, so they're not prime. So that part's actually irrelevant to what we're doing here. But let's focus on this piece. What is the least positive integer that is not a factor of 25 factorial? If you're not familiar with this symbol, 25 factorial, or as I like to call it, 25 with an exclamation point, that's the same thing as saying 25 times 24 times 23 times 22 times 3 times 2 times 1, right? It's all of the integers multiplied down to 1. That's what this exclamation point means. So basically, we're asking, what is the smallest number in this list right here that goes into this big number, right? That is a factor of this number. Well, let me start by saying the obvious. This number is huge, right? It's so big that even if you had the time to type this out in your GRE calculator, you'd run into the problem that the GRE calculator only has room for 8 digits. So we have to use some other way to attack this. Here's how I would recommend doing it. So we have this number here, 25 times 24 times 23 times 22, Let's divide this. So here's a fraction line. I'm going to divide this by the smallest number that I have, 26. Is 26, is this big number up here divisible by 26? Well, 26 is the same thing as 13 times 2, right? And I have a 2 up here. I'll chop that out. And I have a 2 down here, so that goes away. And in this in this ellipses right here, I have a 13, and I have a 13 on the bottom as well. So those cancel out. And what I'm left with is some big number. So I can say, yes, it is in fact divisible by 26. So that's out, right? We're looking for the integer that is not a factor of 25 factorial. Okay, let's do the same thing with 28, right? 28 is the same thing as 14 times 2. Well, we'll restore the 2 back to life there, right? Because that was crossed out with the previous one. If I cross out a 2 on the bottom and a 2 on the top, and I cross out the 14 and the 14 that lives in here, well, yeah, it is divisible. So that works. 36. 36 is the same thing as 9 times 4. I'll just cut right to the chase there. Is there a 9 and a 4 in this top list here? Yeah, it's very easy to find numbers, right? So those are out. 56. Well, let's see. 56 is 28 times 2. Or actually, you know what? Even easier than that, I'll say 8 times 7, right? 8 times 7. Is there a 7 and an 8 in there? Yeah, there is, right? Chop, chop. So that's okay. But we hit a problem when we get to 58, excuse me. 58, if I break it down, is 29 times 2. Well, I can very easily cancel a 2, but I can't cancel a 29 because there is no 29 up here. Remember, these numbers only go up to 25. Furthermore, 29 is a prime number, so I can't break it into anything smaller. And this means that if I were to divide this big number on top by 29, or 58 for that matter, I would get a decimal. It is not a factor of 25 factorial. 25 factorial is not divisible by this number. Correct answer here is E. For more GRE tips and tricks, or to sign up for my online course, follow the link on my profile.